Okay, the hard part for this is I'm trying to just optimize on uptime, you know, and I'm like kind of griefing the whole fight. Except I'm not even looking at it, guys. I told him that already. Can you put that in the bin? You put whatever you want, dude. Crazy leave on. Do you think that my cast on freeze can work, guys? On boss? This is the moment of truth. Does cast on freeze work?
So,
or will it be too low?
Of the end,
not enough damage.
The demon of Vatzoatl has finally come for me.
Resist all you like.
Maybe like impetus or some shit. That's tragic, dude. When it does hit, it's pretty big, but yeah, I guess I could use an energy-based support instead. With any... Really? That hits me? Oh my god.
If succeed, I will burn you alive.
You can still hear it, dude? Splah.
Let me show you what.
Oh, which one is it? Is it butt laser?
Like.
It's butt laser, it's butt laser, it's butt laser. Oh, look at the comment casted.
No! Do not
they're not gonna nerf this thing, guys. It'll be fine. I don't know this build. Obviously, everything with a caveat. We don't know about numbers. We don't know that everything's gonna work, that sort of thing. So there's that. There's two main things that really enable this for this patch. One is Eye of Winter. A bug fix. It says Eye of Winter passing over multiple ailment ground effects only got extra damage from the most recent one rather than all of them. So this got fixed. Like the thing that I thought was working within my Invoker last patch, that got fixed. The second thing that's really cool is Eye of Winter itself got a massive buff. So it's 75% now instead of 50%, which is like, for this bonus, it's gonna take you from 150 to 210, 225, I guess. Which is like insane, because you're easily able to get all three grounds, and I'll talk about that in the pub itself. The other thing is that we have this support right now in Bitter, so in early game you can actually turn all those ground damage types into just cold damage, so then you can just focus on cold damage, which is really, really good. But as far as the pub goes for this, well, let's talk about the ground generation part first. The first thing to know about the ground generation is that there's three that you're looking for, right? Like cold, fire, and then lightning. For the cold ground, I'm running cast on crit with Frostbolt. It doesn't need to trigger a lot. It just needs to show up on the bosses sometimes. It's got a base duration of like, 4 seconds. And with this tree, it actually has some skill effect duration as well. So that's giving me the chill ground. The burning ground is actually coming from Burning Inscription linked with Despair. This is my primary damage curse in the later game setup. And then for the lightning ground, I'm gonna be linking... Ziggy D was kind enough to show us this thing.
University.
You know what? You can do it yourself. You can have a picture of it. Yeah, I'm sure you can just find it. But for the lightning ground, I'm going to be linking Disengage, Shocking Leap, and Martial Tempo. And I think this is really big because you're always going to want to play Disengage, I think. If it looks like what it looks like in that showcase, it's basically the most OP movement skill in the game right now, other than like Blink itself, right? And then Shocking Leap gives a 6-second lightning ground. And then basically just like pop up the enemy, bounce backwards, and then start casting Eye Winter. So it's super easy. That's the triple ground effect. This particular setup is chaos. It's not done yet. It's still it's like a level 82 tree, so there's still more stuff to take. But the idea with this is that when you're later on, you don't need Embitter support, right? Embitter is the one that converts everything to cold. I want to go everything to chaos. There's like, I guess, 3 main reasons I want to do that. First one is because of Wither. Wither is just a more multiplier for every chaos build. The second one is that the chaos nodes in the tree are really fucking good. This Event Horizon Spaghettification is absolutely crazy, especially since this is getting buffed to give you, I think, 13 all attributes instead of 7% increased attributes, which is super crazy. And then this is really nice for increased chaos damage for increased duration for QOL. And then this is also pretty nice too, right? You really want to get over here for Lich because heavy buffer is changing to have 5% bypass instead of 10% reduced life. So it's super, super crazy. I'm not taking Unholy. So from the Lich Ascendancy itself, the things I'm going to take are... I have it written in the POB config right now, but my Ascendancy order is going to be... Oh, I guess I should start here. Let me go back. Why Lich? I guess everyone's like, oh, Lich, newest class, right? Lich actually enables Eye of Winter, because Eye of Winter's always had really, really crazy single target, because it hits like 20 to 30 times. Especially if you have any amount of reduced projectile speed, it'll be totally fine. But it can't fucking clear. But Lich gives you Rupture of the Soul. I think this is actually the second node here, which is Explode Curse. It might actually be the first node, I'm not sure. But it's going to lead into the other curse node, right? So these are your first 2 nodes, plus 1 curse, and then this. And you're going to play Blasphemy Temp Chain as soon as you have that, and then use an offensive curse. Or Blasphemy Enfeeble. So yeah, you'll have this. You'll still want to basically have it at Cruel Lab because it lines up with Chimera and Bog, and you'll have both nodes right away. These two nodes I like wouldn't bother with early on, but they happen when they happen, you know. So that's why Lich. I can't think of any other class that really helps out the clear enough so that I would actually consider playing Eye of Winter. But the 33% explode is really good, and it's the other reason why the chaos setup is good because this is chaos damage, right? And I think that should be scalable with just generic chaos damage increases on the tree. So that's gonna be even better, right? I think if that does scale, and I think it does, because like secondary damage in PoE1 does scale as long as it's generic modifiers, but that's that. That's the core idea, I think, for this build, right? A lot of automation, a lot of just like smoothness to the build. It is fairly slow. I think with like, yeah, 30 MS boots, I'm only at 40% move speed, so it's not good. The way that convert chaos is original sin. So this ring is not cheap, but that's why I have a different POB for going pure cold. You think Blasphemy is gonna have a delay before it applies to monsters? Oh, really? Well, I mean, I gotta check in with that and see if that doesn't work. But this is like full converts your damage to chaos. And that means all the ground effect. Right, Eye of Winter says gain damage type as corresponding type when passing over ground surface. All of that will become chaos damage. And in the original setup, all of it will become cold damage with Embitter. And yeah, so that's that. I'm using Snake Pit also just for like extra clear. I don't know that you super need it. Defensively, it's playing Lich, so Lich gets 25% damage mitigation just flat pretty much. And then you also get to have, I'm also building them by their hybrid evasion ES. And then also a little bit of life, although you don't really want to deal with the life. And then playing Eternal Youth as recovery, so I'm basically just looking at these two things as my defense. You can probably go for more evasion nodes, but not that efficient. I don't really want to pass down here. And I think that's pretty much it. Just like generic, you know, gem level. It does need a lot of spirit. You could play Spirit Scepter or like Spirit Chest and Amulet. I don't think it's like super crazy or anything. And there's also one more thing to note on this build. So Flame Wall in here is level 10. There's two reasons this is the case. Firstly, I was too lazy to just look up new Flame Wall numbers. Okay. The second thing, I guess 3 reasons. The second thing is that I don't know if numbers will be adjusted towards the like, you know, later part. And I don't even know if Eye of Winter's number is going to be correct, right? Like later. I don't know if this is going to be, well, I guess at level 20, it's that much damage. I guess this is going to be a much smaller number. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But then the third thing is that Eye of Winter is really annoying with Flame Wall. It doesn't. Here's a shitty paint. Okay, usually when you play Eye of Winter, guys, it's like this, right? So this is your Eye of Winter. This is your orb, and this is your Eye of Winter. Okay, and then this is your Flame Wall, right? In PoE1, when this is traveling through, the moment it passes through here, it becomes every single projectile becomes a fire projectile. Okay, as well. So you get the Eye of Winter projectiles and this. In PoE2, how this works is that only the projectiles that actually travel through the flame wall become fire projectiles. But it's not like once the orb travels through, it's gonna be like that. Once the orb is through, the orb won't, like, doesn't matter if the orb is here, you know? If this doesn't hit any flame wall, these projectiles, they'll come out and still be blue. So that part's like inconsistent with flame wall. So I guess like the thing that you want to do is run Fortress, that there's a higher chance of like just better flame wall coverage and then Eye of Winter projectiles going through it. But it sucks that it doesn't touch the orb. The orb doesn't like kind of inherit flame wall. I asked about this. I don't know if it's like intentional or not. I mean, it might be a bug fix, but yeah. So that's why that's like that. But if it does work, yes, flame wall is an insane multiplier for Eye of Winter, regardless, right? Because it has super, super high flat added on it, even at like level 10, which is like nothing. But then Eye of Winter itself has really low flat because it's like a gajillion hits, and there's no damage effectiveness in PoE 2. So then if you're able to scale multi-hit with like Flame Wall, it's really, really good. And it just solves the fundamental problem of clear. Lich does, at least. This is a build. Snake Pit's probably optional. So for the cold base setup, a little bit different. It plays Embitter here. Is like Embitter's the #1 link. So whereas original Sin was converting all of this gain as into chaos before, now Embitter is doing that for you. It's the new support right here. If support skills would gain extra damage on another type, they gain cold damage instead. Super, super like looked like shit to me originally, but then having this with Eye of Winter, amazing. One thing to note, Rising Tempest, this used to work with trigger skills, I think. And then we use one fire trigger, one lightning trigger, and then I also have a frost bomb set up in here and a frost bolt. So when you're playing with cold conversion, obviously the tree changes slightly. You'll see that's less efficient because, you know, I can't take things like spaghettification, and this node here is no good. But then what I do instead is I path all the way outside, and then I take this stuff for reduced projectile speed, and that lets me skip deceleration. Although if you want to max your single target like fully, I think you get like 20% more damage with decel in Embitter. Just like I just want to do cold damage. because you don't want to be like doing triple elemental damage. Like you could have some small shocks, some tiny ignites that do nothing, but you want to be focused on one type of damage because of things like penetration, hypothermia, exposure from frostbomb, cold damage, that sort of scaling, like stuff like this, right? You just want to keep it relatively aligned in one damage type, if possible. It just is more efficient. There's no like Trinity support and stuff like that, like multi-elemental support. I don't know if there's multi-elemental penetration, but yeah. Same sort of deal here, but the curse changes into hypothermia this time. Still blasphemy. It's also probably less good for clear because your explosions probably won't explode for as much damage, but you do get freeze in this setup instead. If you look at the old clips of me testing trigger-based shit with this, I guess the only triggered ground effect is from Frostbolt, right? You're taking this node over here for big ass AoE, so actually the curse that you're gonna cast and the burning inscription is gonna be big as well, and it's gonna last for a good amount of time, especially on the chaos setup where, well, yeah, on the chaos setup we're taking increased duration here. And then the only one that's a little bit hard is the Shockground, Disengage, Shocking Leap, Martial Tempo setup, but I do think it's worth doing. Shockground is also a multiplier. I forgot to put that into POV, but that's something like, what, 20% I think increased damage taken? Embitter, it would count any extras, but the thing is when you have that much gain as extra from like Winner itself, you don't want things like Ming's Heart or other sources of gain as extra. It just won't be as efficient. And like there's still like a higher ceiling for gear, but this gear is at least the 3 pieces: amulet, shield, and weapon. These are like all strong pieces of gear, so like I don't think this damage is unreasonable, right? At this level of investment, I think it's more than reasonable, I guess. So yeah, that's everything, right? Oh, I guess the last thing's leveling. So we're doing leveling right now, and I'll probably upload the VOD to it, but it's cold base leveling. This is my leveling tree that I'm generally gonna go with. I think I might be missing 1 or 2 things total, but this is the core tree. It checks out basically. There's like 2 strength nodes actually. Early just to put on shield charge. Everything else is whatever. I should have been rushing this ASAP. This stuff comes later. But this rush is super good, and this rush is super good. These 2 nodes are very much core to... You need to get Ice Shatter Crystal for sure by the time you hit level 31. Play Frostbomb. And yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do from here, but yeah, that's the core setup at the start. I'm probably to do the God of MOBA for it. You just say that it'll be on MOBA eventually on there. That it'll eventually be there. Yeah, that's the core idea of what we're starting with right now.